Rise and shine. Good morning to you. I am first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the mornings to chat about the world of weather. I apologize for the delay. Had to take care of coffee. And as you know, this is called Coffee Talk. The first word, most important word, coffee. Second most important word, talk. So anyway, my apologies for the delays. But at any rate, we are here, we are together, and we are getting you going on a wonderful start to the day. Top two things we're watching is a cold front marching into Central Florida today. It's going to make itself known. It's going to be a really nice change, but it's not going to be a big change, right? And then hotter temps, beach weather right around the corner. Yeah. Yay. All right. So we've got some things to chat about, but at first, let's just chat about what's going on this morning, shall we? A look outside live on our tower cam perspective. This is the Kennedy Space Center where early this morning, the crew of Crew 4 lifted up on Falcon 9 1067 and Crew Dragon Freedom. It was the first flight for Freedom. It was the fourth flight for the Falcon 9 1067. And all things went swimmingly, I love to say, so that's great. And you can see clear skies from that tower cam perspective there. In terms of temperatures, we are looking good across town. We are sitting right now in the 60s for many locations, 70s for other locations. And we have been watching some areas of fog across Central Florida, particularly visible up around Ocala. The visibility there sitting at 3 miles. It was lower earlier, so things are starting to get better and better and better. Freya, good morning. Haven't seen your name in a while. Glad to see you joining us this morning. I hope you're doing well. Marie, Jan, how are you? David, good morning. Kelly, good morning. Glad to see everybody showing up today. In terms of weather, it's looking great. Lower 80s by 11 o'clock. We'll be to about 87 degrees by 1 p.m., and we'll keep going. Today's high temperature gets us to 90 degrees. Yeah, it is going to be a toasty warm day. 90 degrees in the metro area. About 88 degrees in Sanford, 89 in St. Cloud, 85 degrees in Melbourne. And along the northern shoreline, 82 New Smyrna Beach, 81 degrees in Daytona Beach, 80 degrees in Palm Coast, whereas it is about 87 in the Villages and Lady Lake. So yeah, it is warm. BJ says, morning, Eric. Not so nice here in Ocala. I assume you're just talking about the fog, because everything else looks pretty nice. Scott, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Good morning to you. Ashley, good morning. So it's a beautiful forecast today. Now, that all said, let's take a look and see what's doing on the satellite and radar, because there is a cold front that is marching in our direction. That cold front is going to make itself known. It will make its way into Central Florida, and you're going to feel the difference through the course of this evening. So again, let's just look at that 12-hour forecast, and you notice we've got showers and thunder showers in there, all thanks to that cold front. I think we're going to be great through most of the day, but by about 3, 4, 5 p.m., those showers are going to be bubbling. Now, you and I, we're going to spend 4 o'clock together. We're going to see a lot of each other today. So I'm with you today on WESH 2 News at noon. Then we've got our afternoon coffee talk, which is at 3:30. Then we've got WESH 2 News at 4 we're going to spend together. Meteorologist Cam Tran is off today. And then after that, you can go back with Tony. Chris says, Eric, you're doing pretty well on the April calendar forecast. I haven't even looked at it, bud. But thank you. I expect my grades shortly. I expect to know how April was, and I expect to know the winter season as a whole, winter, spring as a whole, how we did. I expect a full review from you, Chris. Marie, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. All right, so that's a look at today. What about our rain chances? We've been, of course, dealing with a nice dry setup, but rain chances are starting to factor back in today. So let's take a look at that on our Futurecast product. And there we go. Watch through time. Through 1, 2 o'clock, we're fine. But by about 4, 5, 6 o'clock, you can see those showers and storms kind of trying to develop up, and they'll continue right through sunset. I want to take a look at... Yeah, that one's a little underdone. Let's see. Let's look at this futurecast. Okay, yeah, I think that this is the most likely. So this is the norm. What is this? The normal 3 kilometer futurecast. Okay. Watch how through the morning we're good, but by the early afternoon we'll start to pop up a couple of showers. I'll be tweeting them. I don't post a ton of radar stuff on Facebook because the algorithm is kind of terrible. Twitter is a good algorithm for kind of quick updates in succession, so you'll get that. And then through the afternoon, watch how 2, 3, 4 o'clock. That's 3:30. We'll probably have some showers to track on the afternoon coffee talk. We'll be together. I'll take care of you. 5 o'clock, some showers, maybe a few thunder showers. By 6 o'clock, that's where Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi, of course, has you on TV. But I'll be with you on the socials. And then after that, things kind of start to fade on out, looking to about 9, 10 o'clock. Yeah. Freya says, love this weather. April is one of my favorite months. I actually agree with you. April, you know what it is? I think late spring and late fall are my absolute favorite months because those are the transitions, right? Like we're getting tastes of summer now. We're getting, in late fall, we're getting tastes of winter. We're getting the little opportunities for cool, just like now we're getting little opportunities for warm. At the same time, though, today's forecast takes us to 90 degrees. But I do want to point out that after that, we do have a cold front moving through, and that cold front is going to make some modifications to our temperatures. So from today's 90-degree high to mid-80s for your Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we start to get back to being warmer and warmer. So for what it's worth, yeah. And then, by the way, while today's forecast is 90 and we've got a cold front moving into the area, just a reminder, next week, computer models showing heat. By next Friday, the computer models are showing 94 degrees. 94 degrees in Central Florida. Good gravy. $94 degrees. Gross. So at any rate, I'm just mentioning this because, with the temperatures dropping the way that they are, hold on, let me pull up the 7-day forecast. You got too many graphics, Burris. With the way that the temperatures are dropping these next couple of days, I want to make sure you're, I always joke and I'm like, bottle this up. Bottle this up because you're not going to be able to hold on to it for too long. Okay, I don't know why you're not letting me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, stop. I was just trying to circle. This is what happens when I try to do fancy things. This is why I'm a Mac guy. Because Windows annoys me. What I'm trying to say is enjoy. Like today, 90, 30% chance of rain. Notice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, those temperatures do come down just a little bit. Enjoy that. Because 87 Sunday, 88 Monday, 90 Tuesday, again, 91 Wednesday, Thursday about 92, 93, and then Friday of next week. Seriously, next Friday, we are looking at 94 degrees. Michael says, I find Mac annoying. I certainly don't judge. You definitely have to learn the adjustments, but I find it much more stable. But I can relate. My wife, I bought her a Mac. She tells me how much she can't stand it. Oh well. As they say, you can't win them all. Right? Oh well. Gulf Coast has better temps, it seems, but no rain actually in sight. It keeps skipping to the east of I-75. Yeah, the Gulf Coast is lovely. The Gulf Coast is lovely. Hey, we did Crew 2. Why do I keep saying Crew 2? We did Crew 4 today. Would you believe there's already another Falcon 9 on the books? Starlink is launching on Friday at 5:33 p.m. And that weather forecast looks great. This is an unmanned rocket. This will be launching from Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. But it looks great. Vanessa says, I love my MacBook Pro. Nikki, I love my Mac. Timothy, Mac trumps all. Janice, you can't win. I know. They're different. I have two Macs. I have a MacBook Pro that I run Coffee Talk on in my office here. This is my MacBook Pro, 2 monitors. This is my office at the house, and it's like the weather center. And then I've got a MacBook Air that I use. Like when you see me do Coffee Talk from my brother's house or from my back patio or from the newsroom at Wesh, I run Coffee Talk on my MacBook Air. I replaced my iPad with a MacBook Air. It was about the same price point, and I love that MacBook Air. I think that the MacBook Air is the best computer I've ever owned because the MacBook Pro is expensive. The MacBook Air does literally 99% of that stuff, and it's much less expensive. But with iCloud, what's nice is like with iCloud, they sync together, like all of that stuff. And I know that there's Cloud One or whatever, the Microsoft one is, but look, they're all good in their own respects, but I still have not found the stability of Apple on anything else. I ran a Mac lab in college. I'm biased. I get that. Love my MacBook Pro. Yeah. I mean, I've got 2 4K displays here at the house. My office I love my office. It's my favorite room. And by the way, I just bought, can I nerd out with you for a minute? Janice, how much are the MacBook Air? Let me just go, let's just do this together. Let's look at this together, shall we? I think it was $1,000, which it's not cheap. Don't get me wrong. It's not cheap. Apple.com. All right. Mac. Make you smaller. All right. MacBook Air. I bought the cheapest MacBook Air. So when I do Coffee Talk this afternoon from the newsroom, I'm going to be using my MacBook Air. So yeah, $999. That M1 chip is a beast. My MacBook Pro that I have at home that I'm doing this on right now is an Intel MacBook MacBook Pro. I feel like that M1 is faster than my Intel MacBook Pro. Yeah, we're nerding out here. I know. I paid for the Apple. I am not sponsored by Apple. I'm just nerding out. Forgive me. But I would say that $1,000 on that MacBook Air that's the greatest computer I think I've ever owned. It's just I had such low expectations because I bought the cheapest computer that they had, and it nails it. Yeah. Let's see here, Michael. Ooh, what newscast do you have? Today I've got the Noon and 4. Yeah. Marissa, I heard that iCyclone said it's going to be an active hurricane season in Florida. Well, yeah, he's great. He's a great storm chaser. We talk a lot about hurricane season. Of course, you know that I issue my own hurricane season forecast. And it came out March 1st. My hurricane season forecast calls for Florida to be the number 1 hotspot for this year, followed by the coastal Carolinas. Gianna says, can I use your credit card to buy one? No. Please no. How's MacBook Air playing with computer games? Well, Michael, I can't speak to that point because I don't play any. I would love to. But I would say that it has absolutely exceeded my expectations, just honestly. Kenneth says, I cheated, Eric Burris. I used my Google smart speaker to ask the price. That's okay. That's okay. Heather says, I'm totally blind. Apple has superior accessibility. That's such an important thing, Heather. It really is. I mean, they both have their strengths. They both have their weaknesses. Tina says, I have the iPad with the M1 chip and love it. You know, it's funny. My iPad Pro, just the battery was starting to die. It was just starting to, get beat up. So I needed to replace my iPad Pro. And so I was either going to get another iPad Pro or I was going to get the MacBook Air. And as soon as they came out with the M1 chip and they're like, it runs some iPad apps and all this, I'm like, why don't I just get the MacBook Air? Because I can't do Coffee Talk on my iPad, which was like a big deal for me. I can't run Photoshop on my iPad, which was a big deal for me. Listen, I ran After Effects on my MacBook Air. Like all of my outdoor projection mapping that I did during the holidays, I did it on my MacBook Air, on the cheapest product they had, the MacBook Air. Now, I think I did a re-rendering on my MacBook Pro and it was faster, but it's, but I would imagine the new MacBook Pro with the M1 or M2 or whatever the new chips are, I imagine that's faster. But, it's kind of apples to pineapples because my MacBook Pro is Intel. Anyway, we're talking nerd stuff here. I apologize. Michael, so are you just the relief guy doing the weather currently? You seem to be all over the place. I'm always the relief guy, baby. You know what I am? I like to be the hero. When people need time off, I like to give it to them. You know what I mean? Becca, I have the same phone as you. I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Mine is blue, and I want to know what kind of Bluetooth would work best for my phone. As far as like headsets, I just use the AirPods. Michael says, I have Microsoft Flight Sim for Xbox, but on the computer, it's so much more that you can do. Just thinking about my long layovers, have a nice computer. I would say I run that on my MacBook Pro. I've never loaded it on my MacBook Air, but at any rate. Yeah. All right, so that's my hurricane forecast. You were talking about iCyclone and his hurricane forecast. So when we look at the month of May, I want to point this out, okay? The month of May, there are two features that we are looking at for tropical activity. The first one, the 6th through the 8th, is the Northeast. Now, that's not really going to be tropical activity, but let's take a look and see if the models are showing that at all. There should be a storm system around the northeastern United States. Let me just change. All right, so this is a look at the GFS, and again, that forecast that I put together, that tropical forecast that I put together, that was issued March 1st. That was 100% issued March 1st. If you don't believe me, go back to March 1st in your feed, and you'll see us talking all about it. So the October 24th storm system in the northeastern United States. Let's look around 6th through the 8th. Let's just see if there's an area of low pressure around. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, people. Look at that low. Is it going to be tropical in nature? Probably not in May, but there may be a feature there. That's actually a very interesting. The models have absolutely gone deeper in the last couple of hours on that. So that is an interesting feature there. Okay, so that will be an indicator. My friends in the Northeast, my friends in New England, AJ Burnett, WCVB Boston. I know you don't watch, I mean, you do sometimes, but you're probably not watching it now. That will be an indicator right there come hurricane season. You see that low? Saturday, May 7th. We called for that March 1st. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right, that's a secondary thing, but it's still a thing nonetheless, okay? All right, the 16th and the 17th, the Florester cycles. The 16th and the 17th. I don't think that the GFS is going to go out that far. Yeah, that's as far out as the GFS goes, and that's the 13th. But if we looked at the BSR, if you give me 2 seconds to dial the BSR up. 2 seconds, people. I just want to dial that BSR up and see. Janice, I like your vest. Thank you, my dear. I need to load the computer program up. BSR, where are you? Ah, there you are. Okay. Give it a second to load. The BSR is a technique that we use to, yes, I know. Give it just a second. I'll get there. The BSR is a technique we use to kind of double check our long range work. Okay. So we will do pressure, normalized anomaly. Okay, perfect. All right. And we will take you and we will move the group up. Okay. All right. So this is the BSR. This is how one of the ways that we can kind of double check our work. So let's just cruise through and right there. So that's the BSR for, so that's April 29th. That's the morning of April 29th. That's the 16th into the 17th into the 18th. There's a little area of low pressure right there. You can see it coming from the Gulf-ish, cruising across Florida and kind of moving up. That's mid-May. Some form of an area of low pressure crossing from the Gulf toward the Atlantic side, okay? That's mid-May cycling through. That's the Florester. And if you don't remember the Florester, that was a storm system that crossed from the Gulf across Florida. That is going to be, I think, the signature part of the long-range cycle this year, okay? So that is going to cycle through mid-May. I'm not saying that it's going to be tropical, but I am saying that it's going to be the first thing, I promise you, that mid-May, we're all going to be saying to ourselves, oh, hurricane season is right around the corner. I know how this is going to work. And that was issued March 1st, along with the rest of our 2022 hurricane season forecast, which you can get at wesh.com. Michael, I am from Connecticut, Eric, so are we getting a hurricane? I wouldn't say that you're getting a hurricane. I would say, though, that, the model, early May, you see that storm system? That storm system, while it doesn't seem like much, that storm system is absolutely a part of our weather pattern. And when it comes to the tropics, that's the October 24th, 25th, 26th storm system. This is the area that I have highlighted. I don't think it's going to be certainly tropical in early May, but come early to mid-July and early to mid-September, that's when we're going to have to watch out. So when we're talking about July, what are we talking about specifically? Right there. July 6th and 7th, and then in September, 9th and 11th. Okay, those are the dates. That's the zone right there. October 24th, 25th, 26th storm system cycling back around. Yeah, that's the zone. So it's so interesting. When you look at it, that's the zone that we highlighted as the focal point for that storm system. It's next cycling, while I don't think it'll be tropical. Notice, coastal Jersey up through New England. Look at where that low is. Exactly where and exactly when we said it would be. Holy cannoli, science is incredible. Holy cannoli, science is incredible. Chris, do you think the Hurricane Center will move the official start date to May 15th? I cannot even begin to guess that. I cannot even begin to guess that. I think that there's mounting evidence that it should. They've already decided that they're going to start to issue their tropical weather outlooks in mid-May, which is certainly the first step in that direction. But do I think that they do it? There's a big, they are a different, they do their thing, and they do it great. So we just, we'll sit back and observe what they do, right? Just in time for the 4th holiday, Janice says. It would be a little after the 4th. But I would say around the 4th holiday, you'd be watching it. But yeah, it'd be that northeastern storm system would cycle around just afterward. Janice says science rocks. Right? Like, seriously, I couldn't have organized that any better. And what's so funny is that the models, remember when we were checking this a couple of days ago and the models were not really showing it? And I was like, I think that might be it. The models are showing it today. And they'll go back and forth and back and forth. But like, for what it's worth, people, science, you know what's so neat? You can fudge numbers all you want. You can make fun of everything. You can tweak everything. Science is empirical data. You could try and skew it, but like, science is empirical data. You can't skew science. Mathematics, while I'm not a big math fan, there is no gray area. It's you got it right or you got it wrong. You know what I mean? That's all. Man, I'm just amazed. Because science. That's right, Frank. She blinded me with science. Corey, God, I love meteorology. I mean, it's science. You can't go wrong with science. Becca says math and me didn't get along. Me either. But I will say that I wish that I embraced it more back in the day. Not that I need it today, but I do feel like if I was better with math, it would have helped me today. Does that make sense? Like, I think that the math part of my brain is my weaker part in my career. But the science part, thank goodness. Yeah. I love it. All right, so for today, my friends, 90 degrees our high temperature, mid-80s for tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, and then we start to climb back up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. With climate change be a reason for the change, weather patterns have changed. This may need to change. Oh, I see what you're saying, Mary. Yeah, there's a lot of data. One thing that was really interesting, let me share this with you guys and gals, okay? All right, so I was talking to, and I don't remember which, so I was out at the National Hurricane Conference a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, all right? And I was talking to, I don't know if it was the director of the National Hurricane Center or if it was one of his hurricane specialists, but it was an employee, a meteorologist, a doctor of meteorology. So here's my knowledge of weather. Somewhere way the heck up there is this person's knowledge of weather, okay? Far smarter than me. Far smarter than me. And we were talking about, change, and we were having this wonderful, wonderful conversation about empirical data and how, there are meteorologists that will, talk about how is climate change entirely human related, or is it just a natural progression of the earth? You talk about ice ages and heating and cooling. And Chris Lancy is a meteorologist at the National Hurricane Center who has done unbelievable work about these multi-decadal cycles. Okay, and getting into that, and oh, do you know who it was? It was a conversation with, among other people, Neil Frank. There was a couple of people involved in this conversation, but it was Neil Frank, who, if you look up who he is, let's just look up and see Dr. Neil Frank. Let's just go to his Wikipedia page. Okay? Born 1931. Let me try and make this so that I can shrink it here. Again, this is Wikipedia, so take it for a grain of salt. But former director of the National Hurricane Center. Okay? When we, doctorate from FSU, all that fun stuff. Okay? All right. So a conversation with him and one of the specialists at the Hurricane Center currently. Both doctors, and then here's me, like TV weather guy. But They were saying the one thing that they want to learn about, and I had never even thought of this. Sure, Earth's temperature is climbing. Ocean temperatures are climbing. But how does that affect the atmosphere? Because theoretically, that would also warm the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, which would cause stability. So, for all this jibber jabber, for everything that you hear about climate change and global warming, it's so much that we understand and so much we don't understand. So when we talk about, is this shifting because of global warming? Is this, are the ocean temperatures changing because of global warming? Well, at this point, we can only make these educated guesses because it's happening very, very quickly, and we're just trying to rush science in and prove points, okay? And so, but when that was brought up, when it was brought up, what about warming the atmosphere and how that plays into things? I was like, whoa, how did that never come up in my brain? Right? So, what we do know, this much. What we don't know, infinite, right? So just understand when we talk about global warming and climate change, just like when we talk about meteorology as a whole, there's a lot we understand. There's a whole lot more that we don't understand. Science is an ever-evolving, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flower, right? It's kind of like the United States. It's kind of like our freedom. It's this delicate flower that we have to constantly water and constantly work toward. Science is the exact same thing. We have to constantly fight and learn and be open to new ideas. And a great example of that is our long-range forecasting. There are people that I respect, and my own mentor thinks I'm insane for it. But why would we ever close ourselves off to understanding what we don't understand? That's what science is all about, right? Now, you can pervert it and put it into a political thing, one direction or another. But at the end of the day, science is science, and we have to always learn. So when my mentor, when my friends, not all of them, but when some of them say, like, I don't believe any of this long-range stuff, open your mind to the idea that we don't know everything. Open your mind to that. And I think that's kind of I'm on my high horse today, y'all. I think that's kind of a lesson in life. Open your mind to the idea that you don't know everything. Open your mind to the idea that there's new data waiting to be discovered, right? Whether it's earth science or space science, or how about you can grow as a person still? You still have maturing to do. I still have maturing to do. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I went off on a complete tangent today, y'all. Could it be that the Earth is going through a normal change like it has through the years, Michael says? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to go deep diving into data, look up Chris Lancy, multi-decadal cycles. He talks a lot about it, and about, how we just have much learning to do. We're just fighting the fight. There is data on every spectrum that we just have to continue to learn. The Earth is changing, absolutely. We just need to figure out what that means, and all of that fun stuff. Kelly says, my math stat. Every day when I ask you, Eric, I have a stupid question. There's 100% chance it involves some sort of math or science. Also 100% chance I'm asking because I'm too lazy to Google the answer. That's okay, and that's okay. I'm here for it. Gary says, thank you for being real about science. I'll tell you what I know. I'll tell you what I don't know. And, at the end of the day, I'm a student of science. It's like medicine. You know why they call it a practice? Because they're practicing. You're not perfecting it. Why is it called a law practice? Because you're practicing. You're never perfecting. Whoops. And good morning. Thank you for listening. Oy vey, I'm sorry for you guys and gals. You're sitting over here like, boy, this guy's a little crazy today. Somebody needs to give him a chill pill. My apologies. Oh, man. Cheryl, thank you. Vanessa, awesome tangent. Thank you. Mary Joanne says, I'm 65 and still learning. I hope to never stop learning. Seriously. Oh, Dallas, great conversation. Thank you. Thank you very much. This inspirational wisdom just earned you a coffee. Oh, you Gavald. Thank you. Becca says, every day we learn and grow, and what to do is with that learning is our choice. It's true. Elizabeth says, I'm a student of life. That happens when I'm making other plans. Then God laughs. Boom. Right? Chris, we love it when you get worked up. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Janice says, we're all cray-cray. But that's what makes us, right? I do have a problem with my peers that just write off this long-range stuff. I'm open to anything, you know? I'm open to anything. And I tried to poke holes in this, but I think as long as we're open to learning, we will always evolve. And that is my TED Talk. Good gravy, I'm sorry. All right. So enjoy the slightly lower humidity. Enjoy the slightly lower temperatures here. Late weekend to early weekend because, again, yes, next week those temperatures are going to be climbing. Vanessa says, I love learning. That's why I went back to school to Full Sail at 57 years old. Dang right. You have one shot at life. You have one. You get one life. You get one life to live. They ought to name a soap after that. But seriously, you got one shot. Let's make the most of it, people. Okay, enough. Enough, huh? Thank you. Thank you for listening. I will see you guys and gals this afternoon at 3. No, I will see you at noon for West 2 News at noon. I will see you at 3:30 for the afternoon coffee talk. And then I will see you at 4 for West 2 News at 4. I'm in for meteorologist Cam Tran. Kathleen, love you, baby. Thank you so much for hanging out for coffee talk and for listening to me. My apologies. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.